Welcome to week 3 podcast of Bald Guys Talking Football, the BGTF show. So, little technical snafu last night. We did a full podcast with our guest host, Maddie, and never recorded. That's on the producer. So,
Well,
Dave, how you doing today?
Let's be honest. It was the guest, and it wasn't the greatest. So we're reshooting this. We'll think about having him back on at a later date, but let's just be honest. You didn't screw up.
He sort of did a 40-minute guest
Oh my
topic.
40 minutes? That's being kind. As soon he was describing the guest topic, breaking it down into
We were 15 minutes in. Yeah.
It was like the PowerPoint presentation from hell.
Anyways, we'll start off. We're going to try to do a condensed show. It's kind of late in the week because we actually recorded one last night, but like I said, technical difficulties. So we'll start off with the beer of the week like we normally do. I'm drinking a Juicy Pants from Maplewood, Chicago beer. Really good. They're local. We've been there before. Soda Juice is one of my favorites, but Juicy Pants will work in a pinch. So, Dave, what do you got?
Maplewood, one of my favorite breweries. If you guys haven't tried them, you definitely should. I've got something new. I haven't even tried it yet. It is a collaboration from Revolution Brewing and Hot Butcher, which is one of the hot new breweries. They don't even have a brewery. They actually brew out of Miskatonic. It is a hazy IPA, West Coast style that they did. So we will see how this tastes. Actually, it's not hazy. It's somewhat clean. So we will give a quick little test.
This is definitely juicy. So, okay, and
super hoppy.
To start off, we'll cheers to the person out in the survivor pool. Would have been Maddie 2 weeks in a row. He had the lowest point total again, but because he went out last week, Scotty's the next person out. I was actually fearful that I was going to be the one out, but Njoku went out. Got him 0 points. So thank you, Scotty.
His team was slightly worse than your team.
Okay, 2-minute drill. We're going to go over the results from last week. Try to go through these pretty quick. We went over who was legit and who wasn't. Lamar Jackson, 100% legit. Hollywood Brown, not legit, 25% voted legit. Evan Ingram was 75% legit, 50-50 on Mitch Trubisky. Mike Evans, 75% legit. Mark Andrews, 25% not legit. So not looking good there, even though he blew up week 2. Austin Eckler, 100% legit. He's another one, number 1 running back in the league. Baker Mayfield, not legit, 25%. That's your boy, Dave.
Good enough to whoop some ass, though, this week.
We got Kerryon Johnson at a 50-50. Sammy Watkins, 75% legit. D-Jax, 50-50 on that one. Jameis Winston, 25% not legit. Stephon Diggs, 50-50 on that one. Marlon Mack, 100% legit. He, again, looked pretty good this week. He's going injured this year or this upcoming week. Dak Prescott, 75% legit. Deontay Freeman, 25% not legit. T.Y. Hilton, 50-50 on that one. He looked pretty good. John Ross Jr., John Ross the third, sorry. He balled out, number 2 receiver in the league right now, and everybody said 0% legit on him. Aaron Jones, 75% legit, and then between Gurley and Malcolm Brown, 50-50 on who's legit out of those two. So, any thoughts?
Seems pretty accurate. I mean, we'll see. Baker Mayfield had so much hype going into the season. He wasn't horrible last week, but he should have did better. So that was the one I was sort of focusing on. Who else? Mitch Trubisky, 50-50. I think Turdbitsky is not even 50%. And, Scotty showed that. He had no confidence and had to pick up another quarterback because he knows Turdbitsky can't get it done. So I can't even believe he got 50%. That's a bunch of Bears fans hoping.
So for our new 2-minute drill topic, we were going over some of the players on people's teams. They were whether that back end guy was like a keeper drop on some of these teams. Like should this is this guy even rosterable? Throw him back out there? Is he is he bait for somebody else to pick up and just clog their roster? So we went over every single team and tried to pick one, maybe two guys on a couple teams. But we'll start off with Brad's team. Jameis Winston. Last week, not terrible, but is he somebody that you're looking to move from?
He got too much hype. So, he is what he is. He's got no accuracy. He actually doesn't really have wheels. He's not running. So I think in Brad's case, he has a better quarterback. He's got a bye week for Garoppolo in week 4, so he'll keep him. But I think eventually you got to drop him, especially, if you're battling between Garoppolo and Winston, and even if the matchups are close, what's the point of carrying that extra quarterback? I don't know. You'd probably have to ask Ken that question, but I'd say definitely drop after week 4.
Yeah, I don't hate him this week, actually. We'll see what Bruce Arians does with them. Week 1, it's kind of tough. We'll see what happens, though. He might be something, but probably right now, you need an extra roster spot. I'd probably get rid of him. PJ, we'll do the DD chart. So Jacksonville receivers. We put this up there. We like PJ's roster. We put them up there because they were the only question marks really on his rosters. But Jacksonville receivers. We're kind of at an advantage here because we saw week 3. What do you guys think? Or what do you think? DD it was Chark that scored. So.
Well, DD had the hype going in. I had high hopes for him. He picked up Chark, and Chark had a good game. So I think there's no question DD's got to go. I don't think you rostered 2 Jacksonville running backs. There was a lot of receivers, decent pickups available this week, so I'm kind of surprised. But I can understand why he held on to him one more week, see what happens. But he's definitely droppable. DD's got to go.
I disagree. If you look at the target totals, 9 targets. When you're at 9 targets, that's pretty impressive. He didn't crush it by any means, but
he didn't do anything with those targets, though.
It doesn't matter. It means he's getting opportunity. I'd still hold on to him. Again, PJ's. I'm not really hating on his team, so.
I'm not hating on PJ's team. I'm hating on the player that's on it, and that DD dropped a gift touchdown pass during yesterday's game. So, again, I wouldn't carry 2, because are you going to start 2 of those guys? You're not. So you probably already have other better wide receivers on your team. I would open up that spot to take who I think is going to be the better between the 2, because you don't want to have that decision going down the road.
I don't know if it's Chark necessarily.
He's shown it so far, and it shouldn't be, but he's shown it. So I'm just saying, got to drop you. So who are you dropping between the 2? Got to drop one.
Do I have to though? I'm
got to drop one. You put 2 on there, you got to drop one.
Chark.
Oh wow. Okay.
I think DD's got the better talent.
We'll
lower floor. I think Chark needs to really ball out in order to.
So far, yeah.
So, anyways, moving on to Memo, Ronald Jones. Is that guy playable?
One, I don't want anything to do with the Bucs offense. I told you that. I think going into the draft, I think we talked a little bit about it, and I don't want the guy that was supposed to start last week and was quickly taken out of the game plan. So drop him. Memo's got way too much going on with his roster right now. He's got some injury concerns. He's got some benching concerns. Maybe play, not benching, but maybe injured, maybe not. Too many concerns. He should have probably picked up somebody this week. There's talent on the waiver wire this week. So drop him.
Yeah, Ronald Jones, and the funny thing about the profile of Ronald Jones is he's a smaller guy, so you would think he's a pass catching guy, but he does not catch the ball. Like they have a third running back. Can't remember
That's
the guy's name. It's a weird name, but like
yeah,
he comes in for the third down, and Ronald Jones isn't even a pass catching option on there. So yeah, if he's not getting the number one running back, why even keep him?
yeah.
So
Again, he's at the back end of your roster. You hope to get somebody that, I mean, realistically, if you look at your roster, unless it's bye weeks and he's the last option, he ain't gonna make it into your lineup. So
spot start. I mean, he did zero point 0.9 points last week. So I mean, yeah, not even
yep.
you wouldn't even want him as a spot start. Laura, Kirk Cousins.
She already has a quarterback on her team, so I would certainly drop him.
I was warning everybody about the Minnesota pass catchers. Like you got Thielen Boyle over there and Stephon Diggs. Just not as good as what they the second half projected there because they were more run focused, and you can tell this year as much as Dalvin Cook is balled out. I just really don't see Cousins as a real opportunity to play like it. Yeah, Josh Allen every week.
Yeah, between the two. So I mean, again, bye weeks play into that. Contracts kind of play into that too. But yeah, guy from Buffalo, he's a stud. As long as he doesn't have to throw the ball, he's awesome.
So
Like having three running backs.
So Sean, we got to talk
Wait,
about.
no, go back.
Oh, Ken. Sorry, we skipped one. Ken's still holding on to Darius Geis. I think this was the one last night we had the biggest disagreement on. I was saying drop him. I mean, this knee injury is lingering.
It's a different knee, though.
I know that's what I'm saying is he's overcompensating for that other knee so much that like there's obviously issues there.
You should be a doctor. I would say I would drop who Ken has on his IR and put Geis on there. I think Geis has more upside. You cross your fingers. We'll see what happens. But I don't think you drop him. But if we didn't have the IR, you definitely would drop him. I'd put him on the IR.
Yeah, see, and to me, it's like that's a perfect guy you throw out there and hope that he clogs somebody else's roster, you know? Like,
possible trade bait for him at the end of the season.
Yeah, I'm not.
Not much, but something.
Hey, Sean, this is the one that, yeah, I think we're in agreement. You're holding on to
I mean,
two Miami players.
Two Miami players. Go ahead.
Kenyon Drake and Deontay Parker. I said Devontae Parker. I said the only thing that, like, possibly you hold on to one of them is in the hopes that somebody gets traded into a better situation that, you know, might turn out because Miami's just jumping ship with everybody. If they can get something for Kenyon Drake and he goes to a better situation, yeah, sure, hold on to him for that. But really, I mean, two guys, I just can't. I can't have two guys like that. That is never going to play week to week for me on my bench.
Well, listen, don't ever question the potential three-time champion. Not going to happen. You don't hold two. Devontae Parker, again, he's the guy at the end of your bench that you probably don't even want to start once the bye weeks come up. So I would have dropped him this week. There was some good wide receiver potentials out there. I'll keep Drake only because I hope he gets traded, but I probably won't start him. And the problem is in this league, you get traded, you end up being like the second running back, it seems, after that trade. So it's tough, but definitely Devontae Parker got to go.
Yeah. So for Dom's team, Mike Davis was a potential for me to put on here because, I mean, he's the third running back in that situation on the Bears offense.
And on one of the worst offensive teams in the league, right?
He's holding on to two defenses. Dom, what are you doing here, buddy? Maddie defended you. Just saying, Maddie defended you, said you've done this for years, but I just can't see holding on to two defenses.
But I think that's part of the reason why we had to redo this broadcast, because I heard like the fear in Maddie's voice. Like if he didn't support him, like something, I don't know, like he wouldn't get head or something. I don't know. It was weird. No, but I agree. I have trouble. Like I'm trying to not roster 2 quarterbacks. That's a focus of mine. I used to do it. I'm trying not to do it anymore. Like I did it most last year, where I had Baker Mayfield, flipped into my IR pretty quick, and just stuck with 1 quarterback. 2 defenses is tough. I understand what Dom's doing, because I did it at one point, to where it just seems like sometimes defenses make a difference. They could score 37 points in a week, and you never know. But if you got to roster 2 of those defenses to try to get that, they're probably not going to do it.
First week I can understand. Like Jacksonville is playing against Kansas City. Okay, you grab a second defense because you don't want to get rid of Jacksonville. But he didn't play him second week. He didn't play Jacksonville. He's not playing them this week. I mean, why hold on to Jacksonville if you're not going to play him?
Well, maybe we need to have him on and he can explain that. But I get it. Like sometimes I want that. Maybe the bye week's coming up. I didn't really look. So, but yeah, definitely would be not something I would want to do. So I would drop it.
So Dave, you're holding on to Henderson, the 3rd running back, not even the handcuff over there. Basically, yeah, you need some stuff to happen in order for that guy to play. Why are you holding on to him?
No, he's definitely the drop on my team. There's no argument there. I tried to pick up Carlos Hyde this week, so Henderson would have went to my IR. I got outbid by Big Bucks Matty, and so right now I'm in a good position. I'm one of the top scoring teams in the league. I destroyed my competition this past week, and I had a good week, but got beat the week before.
Why is Matty holding on to his money?
What's that?
Why is Matty holding on to his money?
Oh, no, he's giving it away, just like he's giving away his players. Like, hey, take Mike Evans for a guy that's going to get cut the week after I pick him up, So,
yeah, we got to squeeze that in because we didn't talk about that last night. That's breaking news, so we get to add that in the next segment. So, hey, Scotty holding on to Mitch Trubisky. He's my boy, but
say it right.
I'm not going to say it.
Say it.
I'm not going to say it.
I'm not going to continue this podcast unless you say it.
So, Scotty.
Say it.
You need to play your boy.
Mitch Trubisky. He's so bad.
You need to play Stafford over him.
Wait, he is so bad. He picked up Matthew Stafford. And he's still keeping him because he's a Bears fan. I love it. It's clogging his roster up. He's going to have to come up on bye weeks for his kicker and his defense, and he's going to drop Trubisky. It's going to be awesome. We'll celebrate that day. We'll raise a glass. This guy is horrible. He's ruining the Bears offense. It's everything they were saying in preseason's coming through. This guy's not what he was, or you shouldn't have sat him. He's not like the golden child. You should have had him in taking reps.
Okay.
Drop him. What do you say? Drop him or keep him?
Oh, I'm saying drop him. He's not a startable
Matthew Stafford player. Over him?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's like, I'm not one to defend the whole rostering 2 QBs because I know you don't. Maddie's mocked me for holding on to 2 really good ones, but I think there's better options. Like to me, I play Stafford, who's had a more consistent floor, and maybe have him pick up like a guy like Taysom Hill or like the Rudolph guy out of Mason Rudolph out of Steelers. I mean, hold on to the.
No, I'd pick up the guy from Jacksonville over Trubisky.
And even him. I mean, like you're gonna go for the guy that like might be a Patrick Mahomes. I mean, nobody's gonna be a Patrick Mahomes, but I mean, like somebody who might surprise the league. You don't know.
This is what I'll say. If once he drops Trubisky, I think my next jersey will finally be a Bears jersey, and it'll have the big turd on the back.
Yeah. I'm holding on to Rex Burkhead. I said it last night. I'm going to say it again. He's probably the first to go on my roster. Reason why I liked him and the reason why I put in a bid on him is Basically, Brady likes him, and he gets reps, he gets touches. So I mean, might as well hold on to a guy on that offense, especially now AB's gone. I might hold on to him.
No, no. The problem I have with he's an easy drop. And I told you last night, and I'll tell you again. I don't want to make the decision. What decision? It's got to be a bye week. It's you're three receive. I'm sorry,
Right.
2 wide receivers and 2 running backs have to be out before you even consider putting this guy in. And then you're going to think about it because you really don't want to do it. So again, he's a roster clogger. He's not going to have a breakout. His breakout season was 2 years ago, because he was horrible last year. So
He's injured last year.
Right, was horrible, injured, whatever. It's not my fault he got injured. But yeah, that's an easy drop. I understand why you got him on there, but you don't even you don't even want. It's like that's almost as bad as the
he's
Tampa
my
Bay.
first guy to go. Like if I got a bye week and I need
it.
to pick up a tight end, to cover for, I'm not going to drop Evan Ingram. So I mean, if I need.
But it's like the Tampa Bay running backs. You don't want to have to make those decisions, and I expect somebody that's an expert at this, that's the guy to do this podcast that can never lose to the color guy would know that.
So Maddie is holding on to Ito Smith. Maddie changed around his roster this week. I'm actually kind of really impressed. Like he's made some moves.
Wait a minute. You're impressed with him getting away Mike Evans?
Okay. Yeah. He's holding on to his shit there. But, I mean, if you look at it, I think his overall, he dumped a lot of the bad weight. And Ito Smith, just because of how bad Devontae Freeman's looked.
I mean, I get it. He had a lot of bad shit to drop. I mean, do you remember anybody 2 weeks in a row being the lowest scoring team in the league? I don't. I don't know. I think he should be fined $100 for being that bad. No, and I think you don't like Ito Smith. I'm not a big Ito Smith fan, but I understand.
He's a bad running back. I mean,
I'd rather have him than Burkhead.
See, and I'd rather have Burkhead than him.
Obviously.
Well, because really, you got to worry. Like, you're holding on to him for like goal line opportunities, whereas Rex Burkhead, he's not goal line dependent. He's going to catch passes. I mean,
I'm not holding on to Ito Smith. I'm hoping that Freeman gets hurt. That's why I would have Ito Smith. I'm not going to start him unless he gets hurt.
That brings us to a good point. Darren's the last one on this group. He's holding on to Tevin Coleman. San Francisco looks like they got 2 really good running backs in Rashid Mostert and
wait a minute. Wait, go back. Hold on. Ito Smith is on Falcons. I screwed up on that. I'm sorry. Who's the starter?
Devontae Freeman.
Yeah. Devontae Freeman. That's who I meant. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
I saw Coleman on the list, though. My bad.
So Coleman is 3rd behind those 2 guys there. Do you hold on to Coleman at this point, or is he just droppable?
No, I hold on to him. I know you don't like him. I feel he'll devalue your running back and Maddie's running back, and that's just gonna that coach loves that guy. He wanted him on the team. He's gonna give him more than 1 week to play and an injury. So all that's gonna do is just a rotation of running backs, which is not good. I think you go with one guy and you have a backup. You don't need 3 or 4 running backs. I hate this NFL when it comes to that, but what do I know? But I would keep him. I think
here's my point with him is he played all preseason, and he's in a system that he knows. Like, what's his face? San Francisco head coach. What's his name?
Shanahan? No.
Shanahan. Like, he knows Shanahan from playing in that system before.
Yeah.
And he can't even, and like Burrito still looks like the best running back out of that group, and Coleman looks like shit. Like, to me, that's like a big red flag. Like, that this guy, even in a system that he's comfortable in, can't look good.
We'll see. Shanahan, I guarantee Shanahan, give him 1 or 2 more games. If he stays healthy and he's still bad, then it's a different situation. but I think it's just going to dissipate. You have so many snaps, and it's going to just go through all three of those running backs. It's just going to be divided up. It's a bad situation. That's why I didn't like your pick with Brady. He looked good. He has good games. I like Brady. I think he should be a main back, although I think he's injury prone too, and he proved that last year. But we'll see what happens.
Here's the difference: is that guy gets injured and he comes back. Like there's so many times where he's like early LaShawn McCoy. Do you remember LaShawn McCoy like back in the day, where he like you'd be watching him and you're like, oh, he's out for the season after that. Like it looks like he tore his, and then he's out the next drive. Like that was Matt Breida for me. Like, anyways, we'll move on to quick news and notes. You know what? We had as the headline the holy crap QB injuries, but I think we need to talk Antonio Brown real quick. We'll squeeze him in the beginning here. He got dropped by New England. I don't think anybody's going for him.
He's a clown. He's done for the season.
Like, he is a clown, but like, does he have fantasy value anymore? Like, should Maddie even hold on to him in hopes that like somebody picks him up?
No, I mean, depends on what he has him for. He's got him for 2 years at like $30, right?
I mean, he traded Mike Evans for him. I mean,
right?
Yeah, Mike Evans has looked like crap, but
there's repercussions on that. He has him, I think, for 2 years at $30. I don't know for sure, but I think so. And that makes a difference.
Is he IR that guy then?
Oh, that means he's got to IR the guy that he didn't mean to IR. He put, I'm going to IR this guy by accident. He didn't mean, I hate when I type that shit by accident. So now he's got to make a decision. And I like Hunter Renfrow, so if he comes up for $1, I'm taking him. So that's very, very, this is like awesome. I wish Maddie was on now so he could explain why he didn't mean to post that. He meant to put him on the IR.
Okay, so we'll get into the holy crap.
Wait, what do you think on that?
Me, my whole thing the whole time, and I said this like 2 weeks ago, but I just want to stay clear because I'm so like when I looked at it and I was like, oh, the Raiders are getting rid of him, and I'm like, I just don't want any part of this guy. Like, I really don't. Like, I'm so scared that, just the crap that's coming out right now with the whole raping and everything. I mean, you were gonna say something?
No, so let's just answer this. I'm pretty sure Maddie has AB for 2 years at $15, and he has Renfro on his IR. What do you do?
Drop AB.
Drop AB and take the $15 hit.
AB's like that type of name that like somebody's gonna pick him up for $4 and just clog a roster spot. Like, I'm okay with that. Like,
well, no, I'd throw him on the long term and put him on IR, but I wouldn't do that. I mean, that's what I would do if I had to pick him up. But like you wouldn't drop Hunter Renfro and put him on there.
Let me put it this way: I have Kiki Cutie, who has barely flashed, and I wouldn't drop Kiki Cutie to put AB on my team. I mean, I have no faith in this guy now, like that he's ever going to play in the NFL again.
So, question 2 then: did Maddie accidentally put a guy on his IR and then try to retract it?
We'll have to ask him next week. Who Maddie is our next guest for next week. So
is he?
Yep.
I don't know if
for a second week just to make up for the crap we did. So.
All right. Put that on the 2-minute topic. I'm sure it'll go 5 hours.
So quick notes. Big Ben out for the season. That was huge. Hurt Scott's team. Scott obviously had him and Trubisky on his team. So now Scott's stuck with 2 subpar quarterbacks. And not only that, but Scott had Juju on his team, so that affects him there. Mason Rudolph gets a start. You're holding on to James Washington. Do those 2 know each other?
They know each other a little bit. They played some ball together.
And then Vance McDonald, too. Like 2 TDs for Mason Rudolph last week when he finally came in. So Tight
Well,
ends, running backs typically get more targets when they're as dump offs when the second quarterback goes in. So, how do you feel?
I feel Pittsburgh's in a little bit of a pickle. And Scotty, listen, I think Juju will get his targets, but you have to be accurate because Juju's going to pick up double coverage, which he didn't have last year. So it's going to be interesting. I think Juju takes a big hit. He's not a top 5 guy or top 8 guy. He's probably, if he's lucky, top 12, which will still get him points, but it's going to be interesting. I think the running backs will pick up some passes. The tight end will benefit. I'm hoping Washington, because I'm playing them in my flex this week, is a big benefit. So we will see.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is so I'm in a similar situation with Drew Brees going out and me holding on to Michael Thomas. Is I just think the ceiling goes away for Juju and a Michael Thomas, where the floor is still there, though. I mean, they're good receivers. They still have, especially them playing in the slot position. You know, you got that two-way opportunity, usually a little bit more separation in there. I honestly think that, like, Juju will be okay because he's going to get targeted still, but I just don't think the ceiling's there. I don't think he's going to, take the, top off the ball and stuff like that.
Right. I don't think he's going to put up the big weeks like
right.
he was necessarily. Maybe down the road, maybe a little bit, but it might be too late. Your situation's different. We talked about it last night. Are we going into that right now or no?
Yeah, we'll hit that. But the thing I wanted to say about James Washington is just like some of the numbers behind those two relationship. And I was hoping Dave didn't know some of this stuff, but I did try to acquire James Washington. So like AP.
Wait. Let's get a little background. He tried to get James Washington, who I have 3 years at like maybe $5 for
Adrian Peterson,
who his coach doesn't even want to play him unless he's going to run the I formation 90 times in a game.
So
wow, one of the worst trades I've ever been offered by.
So Mason Rudolph and
that's
James
a
Washington played 3 years of football in college together, and within those 3 years, 26% of his passing yards went to James Washington. 24% of his target share went to James Washington, and a whopping 34% of his touchdowns over those 3 years went to James Washington. So he knows James Washington. He likes to throw to James Washington. I think total startable player this year or this week for you. I throw him in my lineup no matter what. I think he's a solid wide receiver too. He's going to beat out.
Yeah. He's never had a wide receiver 2 game in his life.
I know, but
that's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
So I get why you offered it. It was a crappy trade, kind of underhanded and horrible.
I just figured you didn't know. I've experienced.
Oh wow, great! That makes it even better. Hey Dave, you got an awesome guy. Hey, do you want this piece of shit that didn't even get on the fucking roster the first week and had a horrible game, not really a very good game the second week? Could have been your drop player of the week. Thanks. I appreciate that type of trade. I'll keep that in mind when we trade again.
So speaking of running backs at the Pittsburgh, James Conner is injured. Is he injured?
Who knows? He's not in enough.
Yeah. So then Jalen Samuels, you got to figure is going to be a quality start with him being a former tight end.
I keep away from both of them. I keep away from both of them.
Okay.
I mean, I think you got to start him probably because you got Connor, and unless you got something on the bench, but I stay away from both of them. We'll see what happens.
So Drew Brees going down, that definitely affects Ken's team. Who's playing quarterback there? Is it going to be Taysom Hill? Is it going to be Teddy Bridgewater? Or are they going to both play? I mean, that's the latest thing I heard. I have 2 stud players from the Saints with Kamara and Michael Thomas, so I'm definitely affected. But what are you thinking here?
I don't think it affects Ken's team because he's got a good second quarterback. I think, did he pick up a third this week?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, craziness, whatever. He's in it, whatever. I think it's going to affect your team. We talked about this last night. I think your big wide receiver is going to be pretty well. He's going to be fine. He plays well. He can block people. I like that. He's one of my favorite receivers. I wish he was on my team. I've said that I think your running back is going to suffer. I think he's an awesome running back. He's great. He's electric. But those quarterbacks, I think it's going to be 60-30. And you don't fucking do that in the NFL. It's going to be 60 Bridgewater, 30 Taysom. And I don't think either one of them have the touch to throw that pass on the swing. You know, they'll do dumps, but I don't see that swing pass, which is where he breaks those tackles. He has that wide open space. So I think Kamara will be good, but I don't think you're going to see 20-point games from him.
Oh,
and
no.
no.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get the 40-point games that I was hoping for when I drafted him. But
40 points? How many 40-point games did he put up last year?
Off the top of my head, maybe 2 or 3.
2 or 3. I'd have to review that. He is no New England defense.
So, I mean, I'm not worried about Kamara. I mean, Kamara's he's QB agnostic. Like he's just such a stud that
we're gonna find that out.
Yeah, we're gonna find that out.
He hasn't had any other QB.
I see the talent there, like how this guy runs so violent as such a small package. I mean, I'm not worried about him.
How do you know the size of his
about
package?
Michael Thomas.
How do you know the size of his package? That's weird. I feel bad for Laura.
Joe Staley out for the year. Isaiah Wynn out for the year. 2 offensive tackles.
Who are they? There you go. 2 offensive tackles.
It affects. I mean,
it affects, but we talked about plug and play, move on. Okay. It's not a good thing, but we'll see what happens.
Philly, you got 2 wide receivers down.
Good
Lord. I like Ertz this week. You got Djax down, Alshon Jeffrey, at least 2 weeks on both of them, I've been hearing. Wentz was put in the concussion tent, but he cleared it, and then he came out for some rib injury too. So, but where do you see?
I don't want anything to do with Philly. You said it the last one that didn't get recorded. You want to start your guy, but you don't feel good starting him now. So that's, I don't know. I'd steer clear.
Miles Sanders. No, I'm concerned. I mean, he was based off of how he looked last week and the amount of shares he got and stuff like that. Like, I thought this was the week that I was going to throw him in, but I just can't do it with both of those guys being out because I think they can focus on the running game. Hey, beat me in the passing game, you know? So, but I think Ertz, definitely, he gets a big target share now here, and he's going to be number 2, number 3 tight end again, you know?
Yep, 100%. That he'll see the targets. I mean, he's at least now the wide receiver 2 option, in that I think he's 1, but yeah, but he's going to clean up.
And then maybe one of the weirdest QB injuries I've ever seen in my entire life. We got Kissy Face McGee Darnold with mono. 14-year-old me was scared of mono. I don't know how a man gets mono. And then floppy leg Siemens busted his leg. So now you're down to Luke Falk, starting quarterback for the New York Jets.
Okay, so if I'm going to talk about the shitty-ass teams, I got to pop another beer. Second beer of the week. Another Revolution collab. St. Aaron. So, okay. First of all, Kissy Face fucking ruined my possible flex receiver with, who is it? Crowder. Yep. 14 fucking targets that first week. I was like, oh, I found a sleeper. And now I got to wait 2 or 3 weeks so his spleen doesn't explode. Yeah, the Jets are just bad. Can you tell me, so in all seriousness, like not to be funny or anything, what team is worse? And I'm not even going to put the Miami Dolphins in this conversation.
Oh, they're the worst.
No, we're not. No, don't get Miami. New York Jets or Maddie's fantasy league team, which is worse?
Wow.
Got to
Okay.
pick one.
No. Maddie can defend himself next week. I'm not gonna shit on Maddie right now because
I'm gonna
shitting. He's done enough shitting with 2 weeks in a row being the lowest points.
It's gonna be 3 weeks and he's selling because I think he still has Antonio Brown in his starting lineup.
Oh. Okay. We'll move on to week 2 matchups. Go over them real quick. We had Scotty versus Dom. David Ken picked Scotty on this one. I was the only one to go with Dom. Thank you, Dom. Dom beat Scotty 102 to 102.14 to 78.2. Basically, Scotty got hurt by Roethlisberger going out and David Njoku going out, getting him 0. So, any thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, Scotty, tough week. We'll see how he bounces back. Dom, another win, 2-0. Had the weird draft strategy of walking out and seems to be working for him. So, better team than I thought he had. I'm wrong. So we'll see what happens with this matchup this week and how I pick on it.
His stud receivers that from week 1, like Sammy Watkins didn't show up or anything like that, but Dalvin Cook looks pretty legit, right?
I hope he gets hurt because I got his backup. So that's all I got to say.
That guy looks legit.
I'll say that, though. Dom went from 180 to 102, right? So I went from 160 something to 120 to 160. I am much more happier with my 2-week performance. We'll see what happens this week, but that's a huge drop off.
It is.
So, and he played a team that just got decimated. Although I still don't know. Like, let's say Roethlisberger puts up 7 more points because it's not great.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, you got Sean versus Laura on this one. Sean, the only one that picked you was Ken, and Laura, both Dave and I picked you, and Laura ran away with it, 112.42 to 91.22. So Laura had her Josh Allen, Kenny Galladay, Le'Veon Bell, Vance McDonald doing the Vance dance. Basically, the only one that didn't show up for Laura, and she would have scored higher, is Alshon Jeffrey. Sean sitting on like okay performances from Tyler Boyd, and Alshon Cooper. Goff showed up, but O.J. Howard getting nothing. Matt Prater, nothing.
Wait, was O.J. Howard injured?
No, he was fully healthy. It's just that's one of the things. Like Jameis Winston, Bruce Arians, they don't target the tight end. Like that really scared me going into it. I was like, O.J. Howard, Evan Ingram were my like 2 guys that I was going after, and I was like, no, I can't do O.J. Howard. Like I went after Ingram hard. So
yeah, it's and she put up a goose egg because one of her players got injured. So it would have been, let's say that's another 10 points. She's at that one. Like I feel if you're 120 to 130 week in and week out, then you've got a good team, right? You're going to have fluctuation. You're going to have a bad week. You're going to have buys. So when I look at something like that, that's kind of what I look at on these numbers. And even if Sean had 20-something points from Howard, Howard, it would have mattered, but he's not going to put up those points. So Sean,
not in this offense.
Yeah, double champion, trying to make it 3 times in a row. He's starting off 0-2. He didn't do anything on the waiver wire. The bench points kind of aren't there either.
So the whole waiver wire thing, I think we brought this up last night. I'm stating Maddie made enough moves. Yeah, yes, he's sitting on Antonio Brown, but I think he made enough moves this week that
Wait, he's
Sean,
sitting on Antonio Brown got dumped today. He's not sitting on Antonio Brown.
yeah,
He's
Sean,
left with Antonio
I
Brown.
honestly think Sean, with him doing nothing this week, has got the worst roster on in the league.
Ooh, ouch. I don't know. I haven't really assessed that. Maybe I'll say my opinion on that. He's looking pretty bad. He's an 0-2 team that's looking to go 0-3 right now. I think we all picked against him. I think we'll come up to that pretty soon. So we'll see.
We had Memo versus Brad. Both you and Ken picked Memo. You guys love that Patrick Mahomes. I picked Brad. Brad ended up winning 112.48 to 104.42. His big guys were Jameis Winston, actually showed up a little bit. Mark Andrews, wow, looking like the stud that he is. Gurley did okay. Basically, everybody did something on his team, and he showed up with a win with that 112. Other than Patrick Mahomes and Julio Jones, Memo didn't really have anybody step up. James Conner, 12 points, okay. You expect more out of your RB1. Tariq Cohen, 3.5. Jared Cook, 3.5. Josh Gordon. I like Josh Gordon this week, though. 2.9.
It was bad. That was a Memo came into this as like a favorite.
One of your favorites, yeah.
I think you liked his team too.
I did, but you were really high on him.
I was high on him for sure. And maybe if Patrick Mahomes can like step up and put up 50 points, he can win this. But looking at what happened, knowing Connor put up 12 and he may not even make it through this week's game. Julio Jones and Patrick Mahomes, good. I don't know if he even knows Gallup's hurt. I don't know if he's pulled Gallup out of his lineup. And you look at the bench, and there's nothing on the bench that he could play.
Right. So that was one of the things we talked about last night that we really haven't hit on tonight. Is Memo hasn't really made any moves.
No, he's not. He should have made moves this week. Kareem Hunt is still on his team. What do you want him back week 10 so he can back up Chubb and take a few snaps? So,
right.
That's a move that should have already been made. It's almost as bad as Darren's guy on retirement that carried into the draft. I mean,
this is his bench. You got
Memo's my boy, but Memo, take 5 minutes, look at your team a week. I know you're busy. I get it. But, yeah.
Deontay Thompson with 0.1 points. Ronald Jones with 0.9. Tyreek Hill's getting him nothing. Kareem Hunt's getting him nothing. Naeem Hines is getting him 1.9. And then the only one that's actually scoring, but he can't play him because he's got Patrick Mahomes, is Tom Brady at 24.66. So, you can't even sub out anybody.
Cohen looks bad right now. Gordon will go back up, so he's lucky there. Yeah. Connor might not make the game, but yeah, we're ripping on Memo, but that's bad. We saw it in another fantasy league. Maybe we got a new Pete, I guess. So we'll see. And not to take anything away from Brad, because Brad had a good week. Brad's going to be interesting because I think Gordon's going to come back. I feel like he's going to come back, and that could be just ridiculous for him. I just don't think Gurley is going to be anything over a 10 to 18 point player. And that might be all he needs with Gordon coming back fresh, but it's going to take him a while to get there. But kudos to Brad. Brad getting the win there. We'll see how he does throughout the week. I kind of like his team. Don't love it, but like it.
We had Darren against Maddie. The only one that picked Darren, surprisingly, was Ken. It was his only win of the week.
Well, we're just trying to make Maddie feel better. I don't know.
So both you and I picked Maddie. And
yeah,
Maddie
toilet ball.
Darren ended up winning 100.36 to 77.52. Maddie Keyshawn Johnson, I guess, was his top player at 15.8. Hopkins 14.1. Darren had Rogers did okay, 14.36. Ridley 21.5. That's a good week. Greg Olson, that was a big surprise. Nice last minute pickup, 15 points out of him. So yeah, Darren ended up winning on this one. Maddie changed his roster though, so
I think we're looking at and I had a little bit higher hopes for Darren. I put him in the middle of the pack. I kind of was mistaken. I think we're looking at the bottom two players. Darren's took over a team that had so much potential. And I think we're looking at a downfall. He doesn't have much on the bench. He's got to figure something out. He's got to be a little more active. And he has a lot of money because he didn't spend it at the draft. He came out with almost $60, I think. So what are you doing? You didn't do anything this week. You squeaked out a win against one of the worst teams ever to be in fantasy football. So, Darren, come on, man. I don't know. You probably don't listen, but please spend some of that money. You got 59. You can only take 50 of it with you. So do something.
PJ versus Ken. This was the big game of the week.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was not the big game of the week, but it was one of them.
Yeah. PJ ended up winning 140.08 to 123.26. Basically, Ken McCaffrey shit the bed for you, and so did Edelman. But Prescott still balled out. Cup balled out. You had Nick Chubb, decent week. Eckler, number one running back in the league. Ken still scored 123.26, so he would have beaten most teams in this league.
Yep.
He just ran into a buzzsaw. PJ had Lamar going, Odell Beckham, T.Y. Hilton's look solid, Ertz, with the two receivers going down, Singletary. So, yeah, good matchup.
So the thing I noticed, I said this the other night, the thing I noticed about PJ is he seems to have a good feeling on the veteran guys. And he picked up some younger players. Don't want to take that away from him. I like his roster. But he knows how to pick and choose the guys that everybody kind of shies away from or he gets a good deal. It's just like people think they're washed up and they seem to do well on his roster and people discount him. So like PJ's always, in it. He might not win it, but he is in the top 5, top 4, top 3, whatever it is. So I like his roster. Ken did get screwed.
Well, look at what Ken had on his bench. If he would have played John Ross and Nico Hardman, we're having a different conversation.
Again, you want to be 120 to 130. If you're consistently hitting that, you have a good team. You're going to make the playoffs. He lost at 123. I lost last week at the 120-ish mark too. McCaffrey had a bad game. Edelman had a bad game. Edelman will come up. McCaffrey will not be at 6.3. So he'll bounce back. He'll be fine. He's got to do something with Geis. He's got to get him off his roster. I think he needs to be more active in the trades. He's got to be a little more giving out something to get something back. He's got to be a little more flexible. That's one thing when I've talked with him and we've tried to do trades. He's tough, and I get that. You want to get the best of what you can, but he needs to start analyzing other people's rosters to see how he can get something back that he really needs. Both good teams. Definitely battle of the top players. PJ, really good week, though.
And that's the last of our matchups. So
no,
we're going on from there.
No. We got to talk about the best team of the week.
Go for it.
All right.
I break down all of them. You go.
Matchup of the week. I was the only person to pick me last week because I had faith in my team, and I'm not picking against my team all year. It doesn't matter. I don't care. It doesn't matter who I'm playing. I'm not doing that. I destroyed the team I played this week. The expert, the professor, the guy that's never won a fantasy football, championship. His wife has more than he does, but he is the podcast guru. What'd you score this week, Eric?
82.66.
But not 70s like a couple other guys, so you got lucky there. What'd I score?
158.3.
Yeah, it wasn't even close. I destroyed you. I could still take New England's defense off of my roster and still beat you. I could still take a couple other players off of my roster and still beat you. Drew Brees went down. I still think even if he stayed in the game, it wouldn't have mattered. So I'm going to gloat. I'm going to take it.
D-Jax. I got rid of Denver. Denver over 2 weeks of football. You got Bradley Chubb and Von Miller, and I'm going, ooh, I got those guys. They're going to get sacks. 1 point. 1 fantasy point over 2 weeks. That's ridiculous. Yeah, my team, I was not happy with the performance they put up, but oh well, we'll move on.
No, wait. I'm not done. Not done yet.
No, I'm saying I'll move on from next week. I don't think they're going to do that bad this week.
No, not that bad. But I think Brady is going to be downgraded a little bit. So we'll see. You might have to start Burkhead pretty soon.
All right. So overall standings.
Yes.
For the week, Dave went 2-4. I went 3-3, and our guest Ken Fong went 1-5. Overall, I'm at 4-8.
No, I'm at 4-8.
Oh,
Jesus.
I'm at 7-5, and the guest is at 1-5 because Ken sucks.
And I'm at 4-8, and this is why shit didn't record the other night.
So, should we keep Maddie's picks in these?
Yeah, let's do that. That's fine. So we have some, but we have a guest topic to go over.
Let's do the guest topic.
Do I need to take over production on this or what?
You.
All right, guest topic: bad names. Bad names. A few names have been fixed, so we're not too bad. But we're going over team names because there's a couple in here that I either don't get, or it's time to change, or they kind of suck. I think for the most part, I think there's probably 3 or 4 that I just can't stand. So I'm going to throw them out to you. I'm going to say what I think, and then you let me know if I'm wrong. So we'll start from the top down on the league front page. We're going to go Iowa Gurley's return. I'm all right with that. He's got Gurley. He had him before. He returns, even though it's not the same Gurley. That's what I would put, not the same Gurley as before. But I'm all right with that name.
Yeah, I mean, it's relevant to his team. It's got some aspect of fantasy football in it. I'm good with it.
Okay. And then we got Mr. Julie Ertz from PJ. I guess I'm all right with it. I get it. I think PJ's better than that.
No, this man loves soccer, and he just wants to put some soccer chick in there. Do you know who Julie Ertz is?
Yeah, no, I know who Julie Ertz is. So then I get that. So that's fine. I just don't like the name of it. But then when you say that, I get it. So I'm not going to give him a lot of shit because at least he did something. Because we're going to come to some other stuff.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, so I'm not ragging on him too much. I feel like he's better than that. He could have did something better, but I accept it. So we're good on that one.
Yep.
Casey and the gang, I get that. So I'll take that for memo.
Well,
even though half the gang is hurt.
Yeah, So I was thinking about his because I've got a better alternative that he really should have went to.
All right, say it.
Patrick and my homies. Patrick and my homies.
Yeah, that's better. I get that's fine. Casey and the gang, though, it's not bad. So
it's not bad. No,
I'm not ragging on that one either.
I just like Mahomes, my homies. I don't know. Go ahead.
All right, next one. Knew this was coming and was changed and felt the pressure, and thank God she changed it. And I'm pretty sure it was just different because it was the year before, whatever. Saved by LaBelle. I mean, how can you not love that? 80s, 90s, so I'm not going to give her any shit. So I like Saved by LaBelle now.
Uh, it's my wife. I'm not
All
gonna
right.
agree with my wife on that.
Ken always does a good job. So Breeze on my chub. You can't knock that. Although Breeze is gone, so I do challenge Ken to come up with like maybe a hurt Breeze on my chub or just maybe something different. But I like the name, so I'm not gonna shit on that. So we're good on that.
Like, what's less than a breeze? Like a whisper,
A cough,
a
a
cough
cough,
on my. No, I like that. A cough on my chub.
a broken hand on my chub. All right. Now we come to one that I have a trouble with, and I went out, did the belt. I'm a wrestling fan, not a huge wrestling fan, but when I was a kid, I was a wrestling fan. NWO. It's been way too long. NWO has not been relevant in anything for a long time. So Sean, I'm gonna blast you. I know you've won 2 championships, but Jesus fucking Christ, come on. Come up with something creative. This is the one I'm going to blast pretty hard. It is horrible. I like wrestling, but come up with a wrestling thing that's current then. I don't know.
What's the
I
new
can
league?
see that. It needs to go.
What's the new league that's launching on TNT?
TNT is next.
I don't. There's a new league launching on there, whatever. But yeah, I
It's
definitely
NXT.
agree. You've had it for 3 years now. I mean, you really need to.
I think more than that. So you agree with me though? It's got to go.
I totally do. Like,
all right, Sean. So we challenge you. I'm pretty sure you do listen to this, and I appreciate it. And I'm giving you shit. It's time to let that one go from a wrestling guy to a wrestling guy. We talk about it. I know Maddie wouldn't touch my belt, but I know you would. So come up with. I challenge you to come up with a better name and try to incorporate wrestling in it. But let's change that because it's a new generation. You're 0-2. You're going to go 0-3. I think I picked against you coming up, so it's got to go. All right. Next up, Mitch Flees. I liked it, you know, as back when Turbitsky might have been good. You're going to be dropping them soon, so you are the king of names. You're versatile. You're going to have to come up with a new name. I did like it though, but it's going to have to go eventually, and you know it. Maybe just change your name to Turbitsky after that last week, and we'll see what happens.
I'm okay with it. Scott's
I'm all right with it too, but I'm going to give him shit. All right. Smash Camario Brothers. I love it.
Oh, you skipped a bunch.
No, I didn't.
Little
I'm
Simba.
going right down the line.
Little Simba's number 1.
Oh, shit. I did Little Simba. Okay, yep. So I got to admit, I don't know, and we need to get Dom on this so he can explain this to me.
I don't get it.
You do?
I don't.
You don't get it. I don't know if it's because you're doing the kids. I'm missing something. I'm pretty sure I'm missing something. So I don't understand it. I don't know if it's because you have a kid now and it's based off of that, and that's fine. But I need to understand this. Right now, I'm going to say bad name, but we'll have you on to explain it because we're both confused, right?
And then we'll move on to our next name, More Than a Feeling. Talk about somebody who like doesn't change up their name year to year. Like, oh, I'm gonna pick the same name and not make it any smarter because I have new players, but I still have Adam Thielen. So,
hey, it got me to the championship last year. I still have Adam Thielen. I could have came up with something new, and had I felt the need to, I would have. But it is what it is. It's still relevant. It's not something from many years ago, and if you won or even came close to sniffing a championship last year, you might understand it.
what's third place?
Huh?
That was third place.
That's second loser, or yeah, second loser because I was first loser. So yeah, now I'm still sticking with it. But so you don't like it?
No, I was just messing with you because you were giving Sean shit about having the same name in a couple of years in a row. But
dude,
yeah,
NWO is
well, here's my problem with the Sean one is he doesn't have there's no football in there, you know, like at least More Than a Thielen. It's you still got Thielen on your team, you know, like if you had More Than a Thielen and you traded the guy, like I'd be
I would
mocking
change
you.
I'd change it. Yeah, 100%. So I appreciate that. All right. I did miss those two. I'm sorry. I just wanted to go to yours because I like it. Smash Brothers, Smash Mario Brothers. I'm with that. It's fine. Yeah, it might not do so well this year, but we'll see what happens.
Hey. You gotta love the picture at least, though, too. Mario's head on his body.
Yeah.
Come on!
No, I'm with that. You did a good job. I'm not going to hate on that. I like it. So
hey, we're moving to the one of the ones that I know you do not like.
We're going to save that for last.
Okay.
So mustard, not ketchup. So I kind of like it, even though you just kind of picked this guy up. He changed it up, so he's trying. I don't know what he's going to do next. It's probably going to be the biggest thing that he gets to do all year is maybe pick some different team names. But mustard, not ketchup. I guess I'll take it. So that's not bad. All right. What do you think? Fine?
It's okay.
It's all right. Yeah, they could be better, but I'll take it. It's better than, again, some other ones. All right. Last one. You want to take this one while I take a sip?
Darren, you're my brother. I love you. You're a great man. Bears tied for first. Gotta change it. Gotta do something different. Come on, it's stagnant. Let's do something. Let's look at his team. Like, really, what
does he even have a Bears player on his team?
I don't know.
Look it up. I'm gonna say it's lame. Again, it's stagnant. It's been there too long. It shows no activity in the league. You kept a player on your team that retired. I mean, a little, just 5 minutes, guys. When you're taking a fucking dump and you're pulling up on your phone. I get it. I have no kids. I have a lot more time on my hands. But come on. Is there a Chicago Bears player on his team?
He's got Aaron Rodgers, Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. You could do.
Jesus Christ. He has one Chicago player who's underperformed. Yeah, no, this is almost as bad as NWO or worse. What do you rank? Who's worse?
NWO. Sorry, Sean.
Yeah, no.
At least Bears is football. You know,
I get
he's wrestling. Come on.
I guess they're equally bad in my opinion.
Yeah.
But that's it. So
okay.
Please, let's see some change. Let's see some activity. I don't think Darren watches this, so somebody make sure they send it to him. Multiple people, tell him to fast forward to this time point. I don't know. Let's help him out.
So moving on to week 3 matchups. So we're going to start off with Brad versus Sean. Brad's expected to win at a really close one, 110.8 versus 106.94. I think last night all 3 of us picked Brad at well, that's because we saw what Fournette did. He underperformed. So Brad, both me and you and Maddie, all 3 of us picked him to win. So what do you think?
Yep. I think Brad's just got the better team at this point. Sean's 0-3. Sean's going to have a couple of tough decisions besides his name coming up if he loses this one. If it's not close, which I don't think it will be, there's not going to be a three-peat.
Yeah, and I think the matchups just really don't go Sean's way. I mean, he's right now it's 110.74 to 98.56 is the expected live projection on those two. So, because he had 2 players go, he had his Tennessee defense go, and they only scored him 1 point. So, yeah, not looking good for Sean right now. He does have Cooper going against Miami, so you never know.
Oh yeah,
you might get a 40-point game there. O.J. Howard versus New York Giants. So
could put up a goose egg.
Yeah.
Should we switch? Should we switch to Sean or no?
What?
Should we switch?
No.
Sean?
I'm still going. Yeah, I'm still going. Brad on that. Like Andrews against KC, Samuels.
Love you, Sean, but it's that bad.
PJ versus Memo. PJ's in 7th place right now. Memo's in 10th. It's a division game between the 2 of them. PJ's 1-1. Memo's 0-2. Right now, it's pretty clear. PJ's 124.43 versus Memo's 111.65. Last night, you and I picked PJ. The only one that picked Memo was Maddie.
Yep. And so Maddie picked Memo. Gordon will come up, but I'm concerned about Connor. I'm concerned about Cohen. Freeman's on the other side. Jones is on the other side. On running backs. None of them are super locks, but Ertz, I like. Odell Beckham, I like. Lamar Jackson, I like. Evans, we'll see. I hope he doesn't have a good game because I got Goodwin. But yeah, definitely, I like PJ. Again, Memo, wake up. Yeah.
The Nyheim Hines really.
Like, honestly, Memo starts 0-3. What the fuck?
This is also the battle of the QBs. So right now, the number one, number two QBs playing against each other. Patrick Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson. So I mean, and they're playing against each other too. That's the crazy thing about it. So
Mahomes got a better arm though.
Yeah, he does. But just from top to bottom, PJ's just got a better roster. I think it's going to be tough.
Yep.
Ertz, with no receivers around him, and you really think he's going to get the bulk of the targets there. So,
yep.
Yeah, I don't really see anything else but PJ victory here. So, PJ with the win.
I would say so.
Okay, now we got one of the probably the biggest discrepancies between two teams, Dave versus Darren.
Besides just the name.
Just the names. Anyways, Darren's right now projected at 129.2 versus Darren's 101.81. What do you guys think?
There's only one of us. So
What do you think?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Focus. It's all me. Just don't see it. My running backs are much better than his. Even with Henry going 2 under his projected points, I still feel better. And I like Duke Johnson. I actually was thinking about trying to get White before we even got into the draft, doing something with Dom. But yeah, I don't want anything to do with New England's running backs. Duke Johnson, we'll see. He's just not a guy that's going to carry it. I think our wide receivers, Thielen and Diggs going against each other. So we'll see what happens there. Brown versus Godwin. I think they're kind of a draw. Quarterbacks, I'll give him Rodgers, but I'll take my running backs. I will take my defense against the Jets. I will take my tight end. I like Ridley. I gave him Ridley. I had him on my team. Although I'm hoping Washington becomes a stud this week. So we will see, but I like my team. As did everybody else.
Here's the thing, is Thielen's the better matchup out of Diggs. You got Godwin, who's against New York Jets, gonna look good. It's the running backs. I mean, really, Duke Johnson and James White versus Derrick Henry, who, yeah, he only scored you 11.1, but hey, you got Ezekiel Elliott versus Miami. I mean, could you ask for a better matchup there? I mean, it's kind of ridiculous.
I could. I want a guy that's going to go all 4 quarters, but once he sits after the 3rd quarter, I don't know what's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to be close here. So yeah,
Scotty, start Pollard.
Yeah, really. Next matchup is this is a fantasy baseball championship matchup here. We got Maddie versus Scott. Maddie's right now expected to lose 112.58 versus 124.27. Last night I did pick Maddie, but that's when he had Antonio Brown. I'm gonna have to switch it. I'm gonna go Jew.
No, can't switch it. Can't switch it. No, there's no switching.
There is if it didn't record. So I'm switching.
No, you're not switching, bro. Nope, don't switch it. You took that guy. I don't know why you took him. He didn't even pick himself, and you took him.
It was really the matchup. So you're looking at it. Carrie-Ann's got a plus matchup. Gore's got a plus matchup. Waller's got a plus matchup. A lot of the matchups were good, except for, and like even Brown had a plus matchup, but Brown's not on the team anymore. So, yeah, I'm kind of upset about this.
Yeah, well, he's got LaShawn McCoy on the bench, so he'll put him in. I'm sure the Bills are on a plus matchup of what you want. And, yeah, don't pick Maddie. It's kind of like Maddie and the Dolphins are the same thing. Just keep picking.
I'm not allowed to switch. So
No.
So if Maddie wins, I get that win, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maddie wins.
Just in case. Hey, if it happens, I'm going to take the victory. I just don't want you to backtrack it, okay?
Maddie wins. That's funny.
So now we got me versus Dom. Both me and Maddie picked myself. Dom picked, or Dave picked himself.
How much have you drank? How many beers of the week have you had?
Seriously, like I think it's more tired at this point. I had a sick kid all night last night. So I'm expected to win 118.15 to 106.86. I just found out some more news that like makes me feel better about my team. Josh Jacobs, his second running back, lost 19 pounds this week because he's had the flu, and basically between his last game and now, it's like been on IVs the entire time. So,
dude, he's going to be lighter on his feet. That's all that means.
Okay.
I don't try to change my picks. I don't know if you've figured this out, but for the first 3 weeks, I picked against you.
Yeah,
I will pick against you the whole season. If you play Maddie again, I'll pick Maddie. I don't give a shit.
So Dom's in first at 2-0, and I'm at fourth with 1-1. So it's a pretty big Titan matchup. But the bigger matchup to me is you got Laura. What?
Go Dom.
You got Laura at 2-0 and Ken at 1-1. Ken should be higher because again, we talked about his team last week. His team scored really well, even though he lost. He went up against the PJ Buzzsaw there. Right now, Ken's expected to win at 125.84 versus Laura's 112.92. We all picked Ken to win. All three of us.
Yep.
Still keeping that?
Yep. Ken's got the better matchups. Got to continue my draft-long season hate on Laura's team just to make her mad, even though it's better than I thought it would be because she has Josh Allen.
And Bell and Johnson.
That's again, you've got good running backs on bad teams with bad matchups, which is why I'm picking against her this week. Ken's got much better matchups, so Ken's going to cruise to a victory. That's all I'm going to say. Nothing against Laura.
I picked against my wife just basically because of the matchups. I mean, there's some real, like Prescott can score. He's expected at 22.56. He should be at like 42.56 against Miami. I mean, really, it's not even a matchup. Now Ken's got Edelman without an Antonio Brown. So who do you think is going to get the targets? I mean,
that was even before we made our picks.
Yeah.
Yep. So I mean, that's going to go to Josh Gordon and Edelman. That's Ken's team just got better, as bad as that sounds. So we'll see if Ken needs to put up, in my opinion, to show how good his team is. He needs to put up over 130. And if he does that and then lost at 123, it goes to show how good.
I think he's doing 150 this week. I think Ken's running away with this. He's got such a stacked team. So moving on to the app pick'em. We still got all four. Woohoo, champs. Last week it was pretty much a no-brainer. Who did we pick last week, Dave?
Double New England, double Baltimore?
No, it was double Miami. Or double New England versus Miami, and then Baltimore.
Double New England, double Baltimore.
Oh, yeah, it was double Baltimore. This week we're doing another double-double. So the nice thing is just because we picked double New England last week, we could still pick New England just in the other spot. So we're doing double New England, double Dallas. We're not really even putting it up to debate. They're such big favorites that's what we're going with, right?
Yeah, basically we have 4 slots. As long as you rotate them and don't pick the same team in the same spots, you're fine. So I got 2 picks. He's got 2 picks. So that's how that works. So right now, what's the total on the line? Over $24,000 if somebody wins it outright, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it's fun. We like doing it. It's we'll see how it goes. Basically, it's going to be everybody against Miami, and then somebody's going to bust out. There's going to be a split on the 24,000. There's no way.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
No way. People can cash out. It gets tougher during the playoffs because you got to factor in the spread and stuff. So we'll see, but it's fun.
So that pretty much ends our Bald Guys Talking Football week 3. Thank you for listening to us. Dave, you got any last thoughts?
All I think of is after last night's podcast that went almost 2 hours, that hopefully you got this recorded this time.
Maddie, any last thoughts?
My team sucks. I'm sorry I'm not bad at fantasy, even though football is the easier one to do. I love them. So I do want to say this. Watching the baseball podcast and having Scotty call him out on how he said that baseball is so cerebral and I'm good because I think it through, and football is so easy and it doesn't take much. You just made yourself look bad, bro. Just so you know. Just so you know.
Well, thank you very much for listening to us, and hopefully everybody has a good reunion weekend. Go DGS, and hopefully we win this week.
Oh, wait. Aikman jersey this week.
Oh.
Aikman for this week.
No jersey. Straight from work.
All right.
Peace out, guys. Thank you very much.